So how's everyone doing today?
Good.
Good. So, everyone feeling okay? You're on the edge here? I didn't really hear you. You're okay?
Yeah, good.
Okay, great.
Oh my gosh, you scared me.
You see that reaction there? You see that reaction? That is the same reaction. You're gonna a very similar reaction to when you have foot pain. Okay? So how many of you here have experienced some type of foot pain? Discomfort? Pain? Okay. So according to the podiatry medicine of Uganda Gotha, 1/3 will develop some type of foot pain. 1/3 of all people. How many people do we have here? Somebody count for me. This gentleman, Greg, how many people do we
They
have
come and
here?
gone, so many of them I've lost count.
Yeah. Nine right there. 1/3 will have foot pain injury. That's a lot, right? That can affect many things. So I'm here to tell you about how to take care of your feet. You ask, who am I? My name is Michael Lang. I'm a safety professional with the World Health Organization. I have a BA in foot care. As a safety professional, I'm on my feet 80% of the day. I do inspections, I talk to people, and I do self-help presentations to prevent foot care. And I did graduate from the University of Sevelev. You guys been there before? Small campus, probably haven't heard of it, but I did get my BA there. Great institution though. So, a couple of the main points I'm going to go over is the importance of rest, ice, and proper footwear. Look at that. So, some people don't understand the importance of rest. From the KP, that's Kaiser Permanente, great organization. You guys have heard of that, yes? Kaiser Permanente, very big organization. Kaiser Permanente, Department of Podiatry Medicine, article written February 32nd, 2018, rest and elevation of the foot for 10 minutes per day will decrease pain about 40%. That's almost 50% less pain in your feet. Just resting 10 minutes a day. Can we all do 10 minutes? Watching TV, right? So I can speak to this from a personal experience. I did this for 3 weeks, and within 3 weeks, no more foot pain on the front of my heel. We'll speak to that. So with that, I also add the importance of ice. Why ice? Why ice? You guys ever heard of the term rice?
Yes.
When you sprain. Has anyone ever heard of that? Sprained an ankle here?
Yes.
What does that stand for? Your name is Mike as well?
Yes, I'm Michael
Mike.
today.
Have you ever heard of that? What does that stand for?
Rice, rest, ice, compression, and elevation.
Very good. And why do the nurses tell you to put ice on there? Because it reduces swelling. Right. Now you add that to the rest, that can also decrease your foot pain. Ice because of swelling. Now, per Dr. Scholes of Higher Education of the Institute in 2018, he said by placing ice, you can cut down swelling by 70%. Now that's a lot less foot pain. Can we all agree on that? Yeah. So with that, don't forget to go into proper footwear. Again, do not go with the cheapest footwear. I will give you a little story on that as well. Who here receives coupons from possibly DSW, which stands for Designer, I believe it's Designer Shoe. I get those coupons. Yes, thank you. That's what it was. I get those 20% coupons. Everyone else, and I've used that. But oh wow, clearance shoes right here. Okay, I'll buy that. Within 1 year after they failed, I've been dealing with plantar fasciitis after I dealt with those shoes. After the soles were gone and I was feeling leaks through my shoes, man, did I pay for that. I've been dealing with it ever since. So never, ever buy cheap shoes. Take care of your feet. Buy the proper footwear. Now in closing, remember the importance of rest, ice, and the proper footwear. Remember that we all want to feel comfortable. And a lot of us start with what we are on most of the day, and that's our feet. Yes? So remember, every day, take care of your feet, or your performance will show it. Or if you do take care of them, your performance will really show it. Okay? Thank you. Is there any questions I can address?
I have one.
Yes, great.
So, the same kind of treatment for your pain in your foot, will it work for the pain in my hands?
I believe so. Try it. Let me know your experience, and then we'll touch bases, and then maybe I can include that into my next presentation and say that may work as well. Try ice too. I'd be interested to hear. Right.
Do insoles help to get the Dr. Scholl's whatever insoles that give extra cushion or the gel and all that stuff? Does that help?
You know, that's the best question I've heard all day. I want the proper answer for that. So could you please write that on a sticky note? I'm gonna go ahead and put it here on the parking lot, and I'll get an answer for you. That'll work for you about 5 o'clock tomorrow? Great. Any other questions? Yes, Tara.
So, I totally understand. I mean, I'm cheap, so I get it. I can consider that when it comes to buying my footwear. But are there other contributing factors other than the price of the shoe that can also impact?
From the research I've done, there are many factors, and I'm pretty sure I can come up with a list, but just from personal experience, what I've experienced, these are the symptoms that I've gone through. But let me look at that as well, and I will get back to you as well. So let's switch information after our departure here today. Does that work? Great, thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, everybody. Take care of your feet.